Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Marty.
Marty Jannetty in the house.
It is that time of week again, folks. We bring you original talk show content 7 days a week, but you all love Thursday nights like it was the days of The Cosby Show, Seinfeld and Friends. Only here, it is the sex, drugs, and rock and roll no-holds-barred adventure known as Wrestling Insiders. Party with Marty now.
That was even before he went to jail, right?
Oh, yeah.
So he's made a black mark on boxing, and sometimes boxing teaches you a lesson. So we just took that as that was the one guy's opinion, right? We didn't worry about it. When we watched the fight, we were like, oh, okay, now we know what he meant by all that. Because Tyson wasn't even fighting, man. He was not, he wasn't himself.
How would you like Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff to be remembered from generations of fans from now?
Well, they say a fool speaks his mind. I guess that's me. And that's I've done it pretty much, I mean, if somebody said something, or if you don't think something right, don't you think you should be able to say that it ain't right? So if that's being a fool or speaking up when you think something wrong or goes against what you believe or the way your style is or something, you should be able to do it. I never once not did anything anybody ever asked me to do, any promoter. Never. I questioned it, yes. Never have I ever not done what they wanted. Now, I might have done it my way, but it still got done. I did it my way, rather than the way they did it, to fit me more, because it's me,
Right.
I'm the one that...
You weren't Paul Orndorff. I mean, you weren't a character.
I got to keep my character, just like Hogan kept his, and Savage and all them. Well, I had to fight a little bit more for mine, and I did.
Unbelievable. A wonderful story, a wonderful career, Paul. Thank you so much for coming back and joining us again so soon. Johnny, Jack.
Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Marty.
And I'm John Cena Sr.
Johnny, the fans just haven't asked for it, they have demanded it.
This August, we're headed back to Tampa for Wrestle House 2.
WrestleMania weekend, we brought you Sinister Minister James Mitchell, TJP, Demolition Smash, Al Snow, Dutch Mantel Zeb Coulter, JTG of Crime Time, and WWE Hall of Famer Gerald Briscoe for in-depth interviews and live interactive cyber autograph signings.
And if you want our Wednesday Night Wrestling Insider Special Edition episodes to continue, we need your help to bring these superstars' careers and lives to life.
Bringing you free content 7 days each week is an expensive proposition between appearance fees, air travel, renting the house, the equipment, and everything that goes in to a week of shooting. We can't do it without you.
As we prepare to return to producing live and ring events, help us bring you the superstars and legends of yesterday and tomorrow by visiting Indiegogo now and check out some of the great rewards.
Wrestling fans, it's going to be a wild week in Tampa the first week in August. Get ready for Wrestle House 2.
This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there live.
Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Marty, along with the very stylish,
Profilish.
Marty Jannetty. Are you trying to take a page out of the Adam West of Boston Wrestling's book,
what did
the
he do?
debonair John Cena Sr.?
He does dress sharp, don't he?
Well, he's ready to hit the big 6-0. He's trying to still get, he's got Marjo Ouellette of Ms. and Mrs. fame chasing him down.
Who's turning 60?
John Cena Sr.
No, he ain't.
Yeah.
You sure?
Well, it's July now, so he already did.
Oh. Wow. Wouldn't have guessed that.
Now, you want to hear a funny story? Oh, this is a true one now. Well,
This is a true one.
they all are, but I mean, there was the air conditioning back here, bro. And the day he came in to tape, it was, before we even turned the studio lights on, almost 80 degrees.
Like it
I
is
almost-
right about now.
I almost fucking melted when I was in the room with the refrigerator just walking in. So John, I was worried the glue from the piece was going to start to drip. But I mean, what do you think of this? Could you imagine putting on Ms. and Mrs. one night, and the Ms. and Maurice walk into the bedroom, and Marjot's under the covers with John Cena Sr.?
Oh man, you got some wild imagination at times.
Well, Johnny is the one that's.
Oh, he
you
can.
know,
He wants to. Okay.
He said it was like looked kind of like a pumpkin 3 weeks after Halloween down there.
Oh,
You know.
damn.
All right, wrestling fans.
Also had this match in San Francisco.
As we continue to roll through the year that was
Yeah.
1990, in the winter, in what I consider one of the most despicable things in wrestling history, be started, and it affected the business negatively all the way through 96, 97. On Entertainment Tonight, superstar Billy Graham came out, angry and bitter that he didn't have a job anymore in pro wrestling, and he said that 90% of the superstars on the roster were using steroids.
That was him that did that?
He started it.
I thought that was.
He was the ringleader.
Bruno San Martino.
He joined on later on, and I think he had at least some more credibility than Billy Graham did. Billy Graham was all vendetta. Bruno had a vendetta to a point, but with Billy Graham, it was all an axe to grind. But I will ask you this, as someone that was in the locker room at the time, would you say that 90% of the talent was on the gas?
No, no way.
Were you on the gas?
No, but I would say probably closer to 89%.
89%?
No, there was a lot. I mean, it was not unusual.
It was commonplace, and it was legal up until 89, I think.
Right, something like that.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, I think I told this before. Sean, well, I don't want to tell Sean's part, so I'll just say mine.
About the part where he used steroids. You
Well,
don't wanna tell
we
that.
both did what they call a cycle, I guess. Whatever it was, we gained 10 pounds. Well, this is when we went in there and we're looking around and everybody's 6'6", muscled up and 300 pounds ripped, shredded. And here's Sean, like 5'11" and 6 foot tall, 225 pounds. And we're like, well, we got to do a little something. So we, we did this one round. It's like we did it for 6 weeks. We did get, it's like all water. We gained 10 pounds. I think, no, I was 220 because I got it to 230. He was 225, he got it about 235. But that was, and then you're supposed to stop. I guess to do it safely, you stop for a few weeks or something, then you go. That's why they call it cycles. But when we stopped, within 10 days, that 10 pounds I gained dropped all the way back. So I'm like, that's it? I mean, just, because it ages you too, and that's something I didn't need to do. I didn't want to age myself. So
I thought it de-aged you.
What's that?
I thought steroids would de-age you.
No, man, you grow old fast with it.
Really?
All it does is speed up what the body does naturally. It speeds it up. I mean, everything, even bones will grow again. Well, that's with growth hormone, GH. But yeah, for me, I must
have understood it wrong. I always thought that it was kind of.
Well, GH will, because that's growth hormone. That keeps you.
That must be what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'd have to ask Charlie. He knows better than I do.
Yeah, the other stuff. But the other stuff, testosterone and whatever else is out there, kind of ages you. I mean, you can watch the guys that are done it for 10 years. They're 30 years old and look 45 and 50.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, you know what? Of all people, do you know who probably had the best explanation for safe steroid usage of anyone that we've had
Warlord.
here? No. I don't think Warlord ever stopped. I think he's still got a needle coming out of one of his cheeks.
Oh, you're talking about dude who's still doing it?
No, who had the best description on how you should do it and why you should do it and so
that would
on?
be Warlord, but who you got?
Mr. USA, my pewter.
He would know too, because look how healthy his, body looks.
Well, for a 64, 60, no, I think he's 66 now. He said this is how doctors that actually cared about his health explained it to him. You do it for a month, and it continues to filter through you for the second month. Then you take 4 months off completely, then you do it again. So he would do the steroid. He'd be injecting himself with the steroids for 2 months out of the year. And to his credit, I mean, he hasn't had any health problems.
Yeah.
He looked fantastic. For a man his age even now, he's still got, not that he's doing it now, but I mean, he still looks great.
It must mess with your mind, though.
What do you mean?
Make it mush.
His mind was mush, I think, long before the steroids.
I wasn't going to say that, but...
No, you know what? I'm still disappointed in our old friend Tony, a man
like
I
Tony.
consider to be a thief.
Huh?
You like Tony
What's wrong with Tony?
after he called you a racist.
That's him. It ain't got nothing to do with me.
Well, I'm glad you like him. Tony, if you've paid me back the money you stole by the time this airs, you're still my friend. If you haven't,
No,
fuck
man,
you.
no, it ain't that easy. You're gonna have to shake his hand, maybe hug him. You can't just dog him out like that being a thief.
Well, a lot of the people have said, if he pays you the money back and he wants to come back to the studio, would you take him? And you know what? I don't know, because I think part of me would, but then I think the chemistry would be very different, because I'd never
Part
trust
of you
him.
wants that money.
No. Let's just say he pays me the money back that he took, and he apologized, and he
Stone-
had a real
Stone's
reason,
back.
because you know what? He's going through a lot with everything his wife has been through the past
Right.
2 years since she had a stroke. I'm an understanding human being. I'm crazy, but I'm an understanding human being. But you know what? This has gone on now 4 or 5 months. This is money that he fucking stole. Now, if he came back and repaid it, apologized, maybe he had an explanation, let me ask you this. If you were in charge of the show, would you take him back?
No, it would have to be according to circumstances with me.
Yeah.
He hasn't, other than going around with the racist thing, he hasn't done anything to me. But I like him.
No, I'm just saying, let's just say you were in charge of producing the show, and what happened to me happened to you. Would you accept that apology and bring him back into the fold, or
Well,
no?
it's like Al Snow once said about Vince. If he's making you money, you bring him back.
Well, I think the problem is, let's just per se, he did do that. I think the chemistry would be different. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm sure. It was a little more red alert.
Yeah. So I don't know. I wish Tony would do the right thing and pay the money
They
back.
probably will.
Well, part of me wants to put him on blast, but part of me feels bad because of the wife, mainly more than anything. He's really had some challenges up there in Maine, but it doesn't give you the right to steal from someone. And that's what he did. I don't know how many times he sat in your chair and talked about, my friend Dan Morella helped me pay my mortgage this month. He was my only friend. And then he goes on.
Somebody that follows our show, actually several people, said that was very racist when you do that.
Tony likes it.
Well, that's Tony. Man.
Well, all right.
Tony's a racist. I'm just telling you.
Tony's racist towards his own imitation,
I'm
I
just
guess.
telling you what our followers have said
Well,
about it.
to our followers, I'm sorry. I do imitations of people as they are. It has nothing to do with his race. That's how he
but
talks.
Tony gets so excited to do Tony. So
And I tell you
all that
this,
body language into it.
if you ever watched the episode when I did it for Tony, Tony was in hysterics. He loved the imitation I did of him.
Yeah, he also loves Saba Simba.
Well, you should hear what New Jack had to say about Saba Simba.
You ought to see what a lot of our followers say about it.
I tell you this, you know what? I have known Tony since my first night doing this, October 23rd, 1993. As crazy as it is, maybe the two people that have affected my life in wrestling the most outside of maybe Ed Cohen and Percy was Tony and Iron Sheik, and those were the two headliners for Tony Rumble that night. And to think of where my life would go, that I'd be blown up by a drunk driver with the Iron Sheik, and he would go on the Howard Stern show and have me labeled as Dan Maloney, and then Tony would come to the studio weekly, and after that foot stomping video came out with him licking the bottom of female sneakers, I would be known as Dan Morella.
Were there at least new sneakers?
No. So I don't know, Marty. I mean, there's a part of me, outside of the wrestling bubble, I feel bad for Tony. I genuinely like Tony, the human being. But I don't understand why he'd steal from me. And then go online with this.
He's not good at math. He might not know what he did.
Well, you know what?
Sorry to interrupt. I think your mic's got
Messed up.
Well, I mean, for anyone to go online and say, it only makes him look like an imbecile. For him to go on Facebook or whoever, I've been told by people that he has a friend that's writing his Facebook for him, whatever. For him to say that for dozens and dozens and dozens of times over 4 years, he came to this studio for $55, makes him look like a complete and utter idiot. Idiot.
But I was thinking that's where he's bad at math.
Well, I know this. I've told him, and I'll say it again, where he claims he's this Christian, he loves God and so on. Take out your Bible, swear on what's important to you in life, loved ones and so on and so forth, and you tell me, Tony, the last time you were here in January that you left with $55. When you were here the day after Christmas, when people volunteered their time to come down to this studio, that you left with $55 in your pocket. When you were here twice in November, when you were here in October and every other month, that you left with $55, fuck that and fuck you. And granted, even at his age, he could probably kick the shit out of me, but he's 110% wrong as a human being. And whether it's him or the fucking person writing his Facebook, fuck them both. Pay the money back that you stole, you fucking thief.
That goes for you too, Annie. Might as well
The only thing Annie stole was someone's meal.
And then so in Denver, it was a sold out 2,000-seater.
Well, anyway, let's go back to another fucking worthless piece of shit, Superstar Billy Graham.
Do you feel better?
No.
Take a deep breath.
I still want to keep going, to be honest. But another sack of shit, Superstar Billy
You
Graham.
don't like him?
He-
I know not what he did, but
The human Superstar Billy Graham? If you only knew the problems that he caused for us in 2009 when he befriended us for a period of time. I don't know if you're familiar with myself and John Cena Sr. in the Cauliflower Alley Club. I don't know if you're familiar with the documentary The Mermaid Girl. The only
I've heard about
the
it.
only living mermaid ever in the United States, and she was from Maine,
Get that
actually.
fly out of your soup, man. I can't watch it.
Where is it?
In your soup.
My suit?
Soup.
Soup? I don't have any soup.
I didn't want to say what it really is.
Oh, all right. My water
But
bottle.
his water bottle. That's Stony, man. It's our pet fly. We named him Stony.
It does. This feels like Breaking Bad, that episode.
He gets high and he comes over here and wants their food.
Anyway, Superstar Billy Graham, he got us involved with the Mermaid Girl. Wonderful family. We were able to raise money to send her to a summer camp for disabled kids. It was the first time she ever left the house. But Billy Graham was trying to, even in his dilapidated state, get physical with one of the younger female wrestlers who didn't have the same physical desire for the superstar, and it was about...
Did she make that be known, though?
Yes, and it was... So then it turned into Billy's 8,291st trip to the Mayo Clinic in Phoenix for another life-saving procedure or some bullshit. He no-showed an event we had. He had to cancel a TV taping he was going to do. He wound up stranding the woman because he thought he was going to spend the week in Boston visiting the sites with this female wrestler, and they were going to stay in the same room
Give me
together.
the initials. Let me see if I won't say it out loud, but I'll figure it out.
You wouldn't know.
No. Okay.
No. And so one afternoon I'm at work, and I get a text message that, thank you, Jackie, that so-and-so has landed in Boston. And this is like a week before the show. I didn't know what the fuck to do with her. I didn't even know her. So I'll tell you this, despite some of the differences that we've had with John Cena Sr. in the North Carolina Inside Job, Johnny was kind enough. What's that?
Y'all had differences?
Over the North Carolina Inside Job,
Which I
yes.
don't know nothing about it, but y'all had
He
differences?
basically took our company down to the Carolinas because it was cheaper to run shows. The overhead was a hell of a lot less, and it drew a lot better back in the early 2010s. Well, I don't know. I think he was looking for a little wigwam action. You know what I mean? He wanted someone to smoke the fabulous peace pipe.
And then there was Denver.
But anyway, Johnny went and picked up this stranger, took her to his home, and put her up for a week. Now, how many people would do... That's one of the brothers.
Tony, because he's the man of God.
Who?
Tony.
Please. I almost broke my fucking foot on his step.
Oh.
I wouldn't want anyone to stay in that piece of shit that he lives in. Because it was...
He's still in that place he's had for... He did a
No. That
You know
MTV documentary
Yeah,
thing?
where his bed was on the floor and he had the money
No,
underneath it.
no. He actually he was smart with the money he made off of when he did that run with Mark Henry. He bought a home with it, and I don't want to put down the man's home, but my God,
don't do that.
He's got 3 steps going into the house that are concrete, and they're all slanted and crooked and broken. So
You got to be an athlete.
again, Big Bad Dan Morella with the $55 paydays. We drove to his home to tape episodes of his talk show on his front porch because we couldn't have anyone down here during coronavirus.
See those. You've been talking about those. I'm like, I got to see what that looked like.
So on
Off
July
the front
4th, one of them, it was July 4th, I gave up my July 4th to tape on his porch. We're leaving. I fell in the crack of one of the steps and rolled down into the street.
Oh.
But with all the fireworks going off, no one heard me.
Nobody's screaming, hey, right over here.
I tell you this, if you ever want to shoot someone, July 4th is the day to
They
do
already
it.
know
Because
that.
no one will know.
It's already known in certain places.
My ankle was Chattahoochee. My ankle was almost as bad as yours was for about 2 weeks. And I wanted
you know
to
what,
kill
mine is
him.
better now.
Well,
fact, I'm
so
gonna
is
try
mine, but
see if
that's
I can
good.
walk.
We'll show off our ankles together. Oh, wait a minute, we're doing a real strip tease. What do we got?
I think it feels so
But
good
anyway,
today.
back to Super. Jackie, did you give us the signal? All right, you know what, wrestling fan? We're going to take a. Do you want to show them your ankle before we go to
I
break?
got it covered, but I mean,
You got it covered, all
Let me
right.
see what it feels like. It feels good today. Oh, shit.
If only Annie had a foot fetish.
That's not too bad right there.
Yeah, all right.
I can have this ready in a couple more weeks.
All right, fans. Well, if you want to be doing good as Marty's ankle, check out the eBay store, check out the Patreon, and all of the great happenings in the world of Boston wrestling. We'll be right back. The World Wrestling Federation was live at the Houston Summit in Houston, Texas, Saturday, July the 15th, 1995. In the opening contest, Tony Norris, the future Ahmed Johnson, beat Rico Suave. Fatu with the win over Rad Radford. The Roadie defeated the 1-2-3 Kid. Shawn Michaels victorious over WWF Intercontinental Champion Jeff Jarrett via disqualification. In the main event, WWF World Champion Diesel retained the title over Psycho Sid. WWF Women's Champion Alundra Blaze retained the title over Bertha Faye. WWF Tag Team Champions Owen Hart and Yokozuna retained the titles over the Allied Powers. And The Undertaker beat Kama in a casket match. If you were in Houston live, share your memories in the comment section below. Use the links in the description box to keep Wrestling Legends working in our eBay store and on our world-renowned Patreon streaming service so we can bring you more interactive superstar shoot interviews to relive the good old days of professional wrestling. Check it out. Boston Wrestling Sports in the MWF explodes into a new year with professional wrestling content galore and need you to join our family. Every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. after our Monday Night Raw review, it's Wrestling Insiders at your house with WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas. Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. after NXT and AEW, join rotating legends on Wrestling Insiders Special Edition. Every Thursday night at 10 p.m. after our NXT and Dynamite review, it's Marty Jannetty's no-holds-barred sex, drugs, and rock and roll journey on Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty. Friday night after SmackDown, don't miss John Cena Sr.'s Wrestling Insiders Fabulous Fridays. Plus, look for classic clips, history videos, bonus live episodes, pay-per-view watch-alongs, and more. For less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks, get early ad-free access to our Wrestling Insider talk shows, our acclaimed studio shoot interview DVD library, and help keep wrestling legends working during the worst of times. Wrestling fans, especially here in the Boston area, we want to thank our great friends at Red Rose for their support for all of our charitable endeavors and programming efforts. Red Rose is 2 years young and extremely thankful for all the support they've had from our neighbors here in Melrose and beyond for an amazing first 2 years. Red Rose thanks Melrose and all of the first responders who have fought the good fight and have never given up hope during these unprecedented times. We did it together. Follow Red Rose on Facebook for their anniversary special, facebook.com/Red Rose Melrose. You'll be glad you did. Open until 2 a.m. Red Rose will give you fresh, piping hot mouth-watering food that'll put an ear-to-ear smile on even the toughest critic's face. Check out their full menu online at redrosema.com or give them a call, 781-620-1889. All right, wrestling fans, welcome back again. We want to get back on track. I got a little heated about some of the...
So you was on the front porch, you fell down, cracked your leg, and then you...
Yes, and Tony's piece of shit concrete steps.
Couldn't you have just like told him you're sorry you broke his steps
I didn't break them.
when you fell?
No, I fell in a hole in one of the cracked steps.
You made a hole in
And
it.
do you know who, of all you want to continue to this role of plethora of fucking humanity, do you want to know who was driving during all this? Your fucking friend Glantz.
That's the
Goliath.
Jewish guy?
Yeah,
What?
fucking Glantz. Tony
he
said
been?
it was like Pigpen from Charlie Brown. It just trailed him all the way out to the car. I don't know.
Where's Glantz at?
Glantz is fucking... When we went down to do Wrestle House in Tampa, WrestleMania week, he took the portable lights from the studio. He still has not returned them yet. So
portable
Glantz
lights?
is on the shitlets. Portable like these, only you can bring them on an airplane.
Park hams?
What?
Are those park hams?
Portable.
I know, but are those? No, those aren't park hams.
Yeah,
Are they?
I don't know, to be honest. I won't lie to you. I don't know.
They don't look. Oh, it's got the flaps. Ours. Okay. Anyway.
One thing I do know is that what Superstar Billy Graham started in the fall of 1990 would turn into a huge dilemma for WWF in 91. And then in 1992, virtually every headliner in the company left. We'll talk more about that as we chronicle your years in the World Wrestling Federation. But when Billy Graham first made this big admission on national television, what's that?
I was to say, did it surprise anybody?
Well, I mean, were the boys even aware that it had gone on? Well, you guys were on the road almost like circus animals, getting such little time off. Did you even know that Billy Graham went on national television trying to expose the business
What year
like
do you think
that?
that was?
Considering we're looking at 1990, that would be a good guess.
Right in there, because
Yeah.
that's when everything started with Vince. Then where he got into trouble.
Well, no, it really didn't turn into a big situation until the following summer in 91.
When they found a check.
This-
Somebody wrote a check.
Well-
a company check to buy.
I think
that
George-
was never the best.
I think George Zahorian's paper shredder is still going, but anyway.
The second or third one, he wore two of them out.
At this point in 1990, WWF, it was family friendly, action figures,
no.
wrestling buddies.
On the surface.
Yeah, well, and Billy Graham tried to expose the underbelly because he wasn't part of the fraternity
But
anymore.
what do you think in his mind he was thinking he would get out of doing that?
Fuck you, Vince.
So just a revenge motivation.
He wasn't going to make, unless there was maybe some big book offer for him, what could he possibly gain financially?
Sort of like what you just did with Tony, just getting that anger out.
Yeah.
I didn't know that he. I mean, I remember him doing. It didn't affect me because I wasn't a steroid user, so I didn't mind what. Hell, I had to inject some of the guys sometimes. It didn't bother me. But,
Well, even if he didn't use it, it was the business as a whole that he was making
that
look
was,
bad.
messing up. And that was even before, or was it? That was before the baseball big thing?
Oh, yeah.
It was
yeah.
before that.
Long
that
before
that
that.
was a whole steroid era there for a while. The only ones that didn't get no real big trouble was the NFL, did they? Where you were
No,
taking
they really
records,
didn't. Yeah.
taking records down or putting an asterisk by it. Right?
Yeah.
Barry Bonds, he ain't got none of them home run records now. Or he's got it in a big asterisk over top of the numbers.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if him and Clemens get in the Baseball Hall of Fame next year. I think it's their last
they
year of
eligible?
eligibility.
Okay.
I think it's their last year. Charlie, do you know off the top of your head, are you a baseball guy?
You know who would know? You know who would know?
Well, he has no idea what we're talking about. He just doesn't want to admit it, but that's
You
all
want
right.
me to call-
He's still a friend of the show. What's that? Well, no, my question was, is next year their last year of eligibility? I think it is.
You mean before eligibility?
No, is that
Oh, that's
their
it.
last chance to get in the Hall of Fame? I think you only have 10 years.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Because of football, you got the whole lifetime.
Oh, in baseball, it's limited. It's
Really?
only 10. So, and
Hold
neither
on,
one.
I'll tell you. I'm gonna,
You're going to
go ahead.
Google it. All right. Well, anyway.
No. I'm one of your friends. He'll know.
Who? Glantz?
I ain't gonna tell you.
Oh, I know who.
Yeah, you do.
Mr. Sacco. Sacco himself, who probably has on a pair of summer salmon pants right now. Now, you know the thing, Marty, I don't understand. Maybe you can get the whole story behind this. I like him. I don't dislike him.
You can't help but like him.
You know me. When I dislike someone, I fire away probably too much. And I shoot from the hip on my thoughts. You know, you and I both discussed how sometimes his attitude can rub people the wrong way, as it did with the Nasty Boys. But
Yeah,
I don't think he's going to answer now.
You don't think so?
I would love it if he did. I'd love to say hello. But,
but then you got to pay him because you'd be on camera.
Yeah. He doesn't want to have to take the WFAN up. But no, I think
I'll text him. He'll know the answer, I guarantee you.
he'll know the answer. He's very smart when it comes to that kind of stuff. I think.
Leave your message for 20.
Oh, don't click it, not again. Oh no!
You got good one. Hey, we was a Band-Aid in the house.
Oh
MJ
my
in the house.
God!
Oh my God! Your number almost got out to
Well,
the world like mine.
I think it may have.
I covered it. Hey, call us or text me. What was the question?
Is this year Clemens and Bonds' last year of eligibility for the Hall of
Is this
Fame?
the last year of eligibility for Clemens and Bonds to get in the Hall of Fame?
Tell him we miss him and his
We
socks.
miss you. We need you here.
And his socks.
And sock old man over there loves your socks. Loves your socks. And he talks about you as much as he does Annie.
Tell him Annie will take care of him.
All right, brother. Give a call.
All right. Well, hopefully the phone number didn't get out like yours did once.
Yeah, one time,
one of
I got calls from, how do you get this show in Japan?
You can get it anywhere that you get the internet, as far as I know.
Oh, really? I thought it just went certain.
People from
Australia?
Japanese people called you? And what were they saying?
Texted me, messaged me.
In
They
English
love
or
the show.
Japanese?
in English. Even, what's her name? My girl in Israel, Hadar.
Yeah.
She said she thought the show was great when I was normal. I guess she meant when I wasn't medicated up.
Normal. I don't know which episode that would have been.
Stop that.
But look,
Well, here,
to try and take this part of the show home, what do you think about a guy, one of the boys, trying to expose the business to hurt the fraternity?
The ones that have done it. And one's one of my best friends, Eddie Mansfield.
Right, he was part of that original expose, the whole Stossel thing, but that was
he had
85.
a different angle on it. From his take was that he was helping the boys because, no union, no insurance.
And I can understand that. That, like you said, that's trying to be helpful.
Help the boys, at least. But besides him, there's been Dilbert Major. I mean, everybody's gone out and told their local newspaper something. But
well, once the time comes, I really want to dive deep into these scandals as they happen, because it's a very interesting time in the history of the business. I don't know. Was there chatter in the locker room about what Graham did? Or were you guys just so busy on the road that you didn't even notice?
You're so busy. That's the good thing about being busy. You don't got time to bullshit around with stuff that don't really matter, which that kind of mattered because of the fan base. You didn't want the fans like, oh, we're just watching a bunch of steroid needles, bouncing around the ring.
That's what I mean.
Or for kids to have to hear that.
Right.
Kids, to think that's the way for them to go too. They're only 10 years old and they already got to think about it. But
I missed that piece. But once the scandal started to break in 91 and 92, just as a kid watching, I would have been, 10 when the first Hogan one came out. It was a very weird feeling, you know what I mean? To go into the newsstand and you see the headline on the National Enquirer. I walked in on my husband on a bearskin run with the Ultimate Warrior. I mean, it was...
remember that?
I remember reading it, yes.
I was that on a People magazine or something on the front because Kurt Hennig, I told you.
Oh, no. What did he do?
I told you probably in earlier weeks, probably yesterday.
Him and I would have got along great, I think.
Yeah. It was hard not to like him. But it was I think it was USA Today. Remember that in the newspaper? And they said something about gay sex with something other, with Warrior. And Kurt went and bought about 50 magazines and coming into the dressing room and sat one down on everybody's chair and pasted them on the wall, taped them to the wall. And everybody's sitting there like not sitting in their chair because everybody's like, let's see what Warrior does when he walks in. And he comes in and he sees it. And first thing he's like, come on, guys, you don't believe that crap, do you? And, and somebody said, Kurt says, so you're going to sue him, right? And he goes, that shit takes too long. It'll be 7 years in court. I just let it die. Everybody's like, okay.
Well, you know what? Isn't it not that I'm a bodybuilding, as you can tell, a bodybuilding expert by
potential.
with this body, I
You
sure
know what
do.
potential means, though?
You have to actually do it.
No, it means you ain't done shit yet.
All right, there you go. It's kind of commonplace for these people that just want to be bodybuilders. They turn into male whores, do they not? No, I mean they
That's a
find
new
they
one on me,
find
brother.
someone to pay for their life, so they can go and work out every day, and then they just
Well, yeah,
kind
'cause it's not
of
much
get
pay.
humbled that
You know,
night.
Get humbled. There's not much money in bodybuilding if you're not at the top
Exactly,
level.
exactly.
If you're like state champion, there's not too many people looking to sponsor you.
But is that not a common thing, from
What's
what you
that?
know?
What's that?
That the bodybuilders will generally give up their ass to have their life taken care of, so they can bodybuild.
None of them I've been around.
Well, from people we've had here in the studio, I've been
You
told
hang
that it's
out with
kind
a
of
weird
commonplace.
crowd.
What's
You-
that?
You hang out with a weird crowd.
Yes.
You got a lot
Yes.
of Annie.
If you go to BostonWrestling.com and look at our alumni page, we have a very weird crowd that
And
we have
there's a
hung out
reason
with.
for that. They say like attracts like.
But, so I guess you're not familiar with that about the bodybuilding. All right.
I
well,
heard it about Howard. He was Georgia. He won the Mr. Georgia. I forget what year, but he was Atlanta, training at Doc's gym. I should be saying all these names, but the word was out that he was Doc's boy.
Yeah.
Doc was evidently a great trainer. In more ways than one, I guess.
What part of the body was he training?
Yeah, well.
Do you think he could have taught Annie anything?
In Denver, Sean he come out to the ring first. But anyway, we had heard about that before before Warrior got into the wrestling.
Yeah, Sheiky Baby,
Was he a chiropractor?
Yeah,
A licensed chiropractor, right?
yeah.
We heard something about them too, but actually Warrior told us, it's a bunch of shit, it's a work. You don't need a damn crack in the back for anything unless you've been in a serious injury.
Oh, let me tell you this. I used to go to a chiropractor 4 times a week, and it unfortunately never solved the problem. But for 2 or 3 hours a day,
Yeah.
I'd be feeling pretty good.
The pain medicine. I mean, it's
Right.
going to take it away.
Like we've mentioned, when you're in pain 24/7, getting any kind of relief, even for a couple of hours, is a great thing. You know what I mean? And I give good props to is that number 2, Jackie? All right. I give good props to my good friend, Dr. Scott.
With 1 or 2 fingers, that would.
Oh, see, the problem is I'm so blind I can't see. It was
Yeah,
like
that's
Charlie when he was trying to count to 3 back when he was a ref.
What happened, Charlie?
He must have broke his hand. I don't know.
I remember yelling at you one time. Come on, man. Stevie Wonder saw that one.
All right. Well, any final thoughts about, that era? I mean, it didn't really affect business at that point. It was just one man venting on Entertainment Tonight.
The boys
But
didn't do- the boys
as
didn't
one
give
of the
a shit.
boys, how do you look at Billy Graham doing it?
Him doing it?
Yes.
That was kind of a low punch, I mean, like a lot like Bruno Sammartino. I mean, now that your run is done, you want to damage. Okay, I understand you're throwing punches at the company itself, the powers that be. But where do you think all of us work for? So it's a trickle down effect. They get hit hard, we get hit, and I don't know. I like Billy. I mean, again, it goes.
He's a very charming human being when he's on.
Yeah.
And there are other parts about him that is just the underbelly of life.
Then I don't know, don't know him that well. We just done some appearances together. Man, he's such a nice guy and, fun loving. We sat there and ribbed and joked on people all day, in a fun way, not insulting nobody, but whatever he felt in his heart was right to do. I don't know if he felt in his heart that was right for him to do. God bless you then, brother.
You know what, though? I've been involved in too many of him where he tried to get me involved with some of his scams. At one point,
Scams?
he had one of those Legends contracts with WWE.
Yeah, everybody had that.
For
but
$500
I think I'm the only one that didn't have
For
it.
$500 a week, he'd supposedly have to watch Raw and write a report of it. When they sent him his release papers, he wanted me to post it on my website for some reason. He was going to sue an art museum in San Francisco for $20 million because they wouldn't let him take an office chair and push him around like it was a wheelchair because they said it was a safety hazard. Billy's always got a scam and a con going.
He's quick thinking.
You know what? Very smart man.
Yeah.
Very smart man. And you know what? I hate to say it. He is one of the few treasures left from that generation that has a memory of that time of the WWF. So it's a shame that he's had so many ins and outs with WWE over the years that they can't utilize
I've
that.
had that ins and outs with him. So that's not necessarily a bad thing. It was all
Not as bad as him.
Yeah, well, all mine was fun and games. You know,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a
You didn't
serious
kill attendance for 4 years for the company.
one. No.
Yeah.
Did it drop right after that?
From 92 to, no, it really started to drop in 92.
That's when everybody was fleeing, though.
That's when everybody was because of him.
Was it
and the
that,
others
or
that were
was it
involved.
Ted Turner gave Butch Bischoff his damn wallet.
No, that had nothing to do with
You
it.
don't
That
think
didn't
so?
happen until 96. That's when business started to perk up.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk more about that as time goes on. Again, wrestling fans, we never know the twist.
Final thought. We'll go with superstar Billy Graham. Up, down.
Down.
Down. Tony Atlas.
Way down.
How far you?
But Tony, if you have any pride, if you have any character and integrity, we can make that a thumbs up, brother. Just like we want just like we want you to give this tremendous program a big time thumbs up, like old Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, and as we take this brief time out, head on over to the eBay store, patreon.com/Boston Wrestling, and everything you can do to help us keep wrestling legends working, except for Billy Graham and Tony Atlas. We'll be back after this brief time out. Hopefully they go poor and homeless again. We'll be right back.
Bring me a Band-Aid for his ankle.
WWE is coming home to Kansas City with Monday Night Raw. WWE is back with Monday Night Raw in Kansas City, Monday, July 26th. Tickets on sale now.
Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Marati.
And I'm John Cena Sr.
Johnny, the momentum here in Boston Wrestling continues as we continue to build and build and build. The fans want to know, how do we help? We subscribe to the Patreon, but we see all the great merchandise on that set. Coronavirus may have killed the nightlife, especially for someone like Marty, but our acclaimed eBay store is open 24/7 around the world.
Wow. Check it out.
Arguably the greatest professional wrestler of all time. Get this limited edition collector's autograph print personally signed by two-time WWE Hall of Famer Nature Boy Ric Flair, inscribed 16 times for each of his recognized World Championship reigns. One of only 50 made direct from our friends at WWE. Also signed by original artist Rob Schamberger. Help keep wrestling legends working. Get this awesome Ric Flair collectible for your wrestling collection now.
Cheer. Why, hello. I would ask what was on your mind, but I already know. You want to know what has got my beard looking oh so majestic. And I'll tell you, it's sexy as hell beard care. Coconut oil, vitamin E oil, almond oil, both sweet and bitter, shea butter, it's all natural. Yes, JTG has actually come out with a high quality product. So support your boy by going to sahbeardcare.com and take one step closer to becoming sexy as hell. Cheer. Ooh, cheer. You know?
All right, wrestling fans, welcome back to Wrestling Insiders. We thank you that just joined the Boston Wrestling MWF family at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. You are helping keep wrestling legends working, allowing us to bring you more great talent in and out of the studio as Marty continues to rock like no tomorrow. But if you want to talk about rocking, what about an upset in the world of sports? February 23rd, it was slated to be another primetime special on NBC, not Saturday night's main event, but that very prestigious Friday night 8 p.m. slot, where Hogan and Andre did 33 million people in 1988. In 1990, not as many tuned in. It was set to be a rematch from WrestleMania 5, Hulk Hogan defending the WWF World Championship against the Macho King, Randy Savage, with a special guest referee, Iron Mike Tyson, who would wind up being a guest referee for Austin and Michaels at WrestleMania 14 in 98. But not too long, just a couple of weeks before the main event, Mike Tyson did the job in Tokyo to Buster Douglas for the Boxing World Championship.
I've told this before.
Oh.
And I'm going to say it again, and I better not get shot by any mafia people.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. The
But,
Yakuza?
But we were in the dressing room. It was somewhere in New York. That way nobody can get in trouble. The New York Athletic Commission, they have to come in and check your blood pressure and what else to do. That's about it. Sometimes EKG.
Depends on the state.
With New York.
Oh, no, I've never had it done, believe it or not.
Oh, that's right. Where are we right now? We're in Pennsylvania. Where are we? Boston,
Boston,
okay.
yeah, that place.
I got to go to Pennsylvania next week. You want to go?
I'll go down with you.
All right.
Have a hamburger in Hamburg.
Hamburg, yeah.
Yeah.
You want to go?
I'll go down.
Seriously. Shoot some stuff there. It'll be good.
I wouldn't mind it.
We'll
You want to
think
go on a
of
road trip, Charlie? Yeah. All right, if Charlie's willing to go, I'm ready to go. We can't trust Glantz because he's still got the lights.
What about Matt Daddy?
Like I said,
Make
when
it a party, get a van.
I think if the fans took a dislike to the things that you tried to warn him about, and he took it very personally. As far as I go, like I said, other than I think you have to realize that this business is something you have to give more to than you're going to get back.
Yeah.
I think he needs that understanding. But other than that, I really don't have a negative thing I could say about him.
No,
I like him an awful lot.
Good,
I think he's very intelligent in a lot of ways. I think he has
In a
an
lot of
interesting
ways.
point of view.
Not in every way.
No, I'm talking wrestling wise.
Oh, okay.
I think as far as the way he carries himself, I think he'd be good as a television personality if he got more practice at it. But like
Bischoff
you
did.
Yeah, fair
Bischoff
enough.
started behind the camera, didn't he? Go. I know when AWA he was behind the
He
camera.
was a salesman for a while before he
Was
ever
he?
went on TV. Yeah.
Before the AWA.
No, when he was with AWA, he worked in the office before he became an on-air personality.
And then he was behind the camera. Then he was like an
An announcer. Yeah.
Then he's over there with Ted Turner's wallet in WCW.
Well, Matt,
I like Eric. I didn't say nothing bad about him, but
I can tell you this, I like him an awful lot.
do you?
I mean, I never had to deal with him business-wise as my boss like you guys did, but with my interactions with him, I think he's fantastic.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah.
Great personality, fun-loving guy, very intelligent guy, very unique perspectives on things. I think it's too bad that his most recent run in WWE was such a disaster when they brought him in as the executive producer of SmackDown. But you know what? Different strokes for different folks.
Is he out of there now?
Oh, he was gone in,
Second day.
I think he lasted from July to October, so however many months that was.
Yeah.
And it's too bad, but it
He'll
is
be
what it
back.
is.
Talent can't be stopped.
And you know what? He's made some AEW appearances, so who knows?
Tyson did too. That's the last thing we were talking about. Tyson.
We were
did
talking
it.
about Tyson,
And so
that's
what
right.
happened
So what
was-
happened? Yes, okay, go ahead.
So we the athletic commission come in, and that night was the fight. Was it that night? or the
Douglas
night
and
before?
Tyson?
Yeah, and it was either that night or the night before. But we were all me, Anvil, Neidhart. There was somebody else. So it was about 3 or 4 of us. It must have been the same night because we wanted or next night. The reason I say is because at our show, we were planning on going somewhere to see it. On TV there. There was one of the sports bars that would obviously have the pay-per-view on. Were they pay-per-viewing then?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And everybody was that wasn't into boxing or whatever were like, you marks, you're going to watch a boxing thing. It ain't not going to be a fight. That's stupid. You got to be a mark to go. I mean, you worry about watching it. And it was 50-1 odds it went off as for Tyson to win. But
someone made some money.
The New York Athletic Commission said, guys, I'll just tell you this. don't be so sure. And we're like, everybody's even chimed in like, oh man, he's going to destroy Douglas. They're an asshole guy. And they said, well, just remember, Mike has been a black mark on boxing with the wife beatings, because there was some accusations of that.
I don't think they're exactly exaggerations when Robin Givens looked like she went 6 rounds with him.
Accusations.
Accusations.
Yeah, there was accusations of that.
No.
There was the street fight with Mitch Green, the car wreck, some other car wreck. He had like 4 or 5, and that was even before he went to jail, right?
Oh,
That
yeah.
fight. So he's made a black mark on boxing, and sometimes boxing teaches you a lesson. So we just took that as that one guy's opinion, right? We didn't worry about it. When we watched the fight, we were like, oh, okay, now we know what he meant by all that. Because Tyson wasn't even fighting, man. He was not, he wasn't himself. He wasn't throwing punches. I mean, he was, of course. And then when he did, he tapped him in one round, and Douglas almost went down. He had to back off.
In his peak, he would be the equivalent of Goldberg in WCW to boxing. I mean, those were squash matches almost every time Tyson fought. Yeah. But it was a big event to see just how quick and how.
Yeah.
It's funny. You know who was in attendance that night?
Tyson.
Leon White, when he was working for New Japan. I guess he went in a day early. He might have been
over there at the boxing.
Yeah, he was there for the fight. And he said, I don't know if it was Leon that said this or someone else, but they said almost exactly what you said, only a little different.
Yeah.
They said they knew the rape allegations were coming.
Oh, really?
And they wanted to get the belt off of him. And that's why that happened.
Makes sense, too.
But, so anyway, Buster Douglas wound up being the guest referee for Hogan and Savage. Did you get a chance to meet the new world champion?
No, I've never met him. I'd like to, because I love boxing, I love sports, but I would have loved to. But in fact, I will show you a picture I have. What'd you do with my phone? Where's my phone, bro?
Well, this time I don't know.
Anyway.
Probably your pocket, but.
But anyway, so out of that, what was we going to say? Tyson, the throwing, the fight. What were we originally talking about?
We were talking about the main event on NBC, Hogan Savage, WrestleMania 5 rematch. Tyson was supposed to be the guest referee. They did a big press conference, and then all of a sudden it's now this Buster Douglas that no one really knows, other than the fact that he beat Tyson.
True,
it kind of took the wind out of the sails of the event, so to speak.
Yeah, because Tyson, they loved the bad boy back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was considered a bad boy. But who ended up winning, Macho?
No, Hogan retained. That was on the road to WrestleMania 6.
Oh, okay.
That was just to give Hogan a big credible win with some mainstream pub behind it, with having the boxing world champion as the guest ref. It just was the boxing champion they didn't expect or probably want to have.
And then anybody that was under a rock and didn't know what had just happened, probably, like you said, come out and say, who was that guy?
Yeah, I mean, the casual person on the street probably had no idea who Buster Douglas was.
He got that belly like the next day. He didn't stay in shape. I think
he wasn't champion for very long.
No, he lost the next fight.
It was he lost it to Holyfield, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Somebody it was a credible opponent, but it didn't even put up a good fight. It didn't look like the same,
It was disappointing, because even as a kid, I was looking forward to that, but it is what it is. So you never got to meet Buster that night, huh? What, did he have his own private dressing room, or?
Would he have?
Or did he? I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't think. Was I?
It was a TV shoot. Wouldn't everybody have been there?
What year was it?
February of '90.
If he was there and I missed it, damn.
And you know what's sad?
And if it's TV, all the guys are there, so I couldn't have been on another town.
Ratings, they at the peak when they did 33 million for Hogan and Andre, they're down now to an 11 rating. But even so, look at what WWE draws now every week on TV. It would take them several months.
Somebody said AEW beat them in the ratings a couple weeks in a row. Is that that to be true?
NXT they did.
Huh?
NXT they did.
They beat NXT
almost every week.
Oh,
when they were on the same night.
Okay.
They're not on the same night anymore.
We got one's Tuesday, one's
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
NXT's Tuesday, and AEW is generally Wednesday, but they're going to be moving to TBS in 2022, and they're getting a second primetime slot after SmackDown starting
doing
August
good,
13th.
They're doing.
They're going to be
good.
going head-to-head with John Cena Sr.'s Fabulous Fridays.
So
They better be nervous.
So senior and y'all are this together or your wrestling group?
Both.
All together.
He
okay.
does a talk show with us on Friday nights, and he's one of the kingpins of Boston Wrestling MWF with that. We'll never
I think
forget
you talked about, man, my memory's so
the
bad.
North Carolina inside job. We'll have to talk more about that as we get closer to our 20th anniversary this fall. You have very little memories of Buster Douglas. Let me ask you this.
Well, I know I didn't meet him. I wouldn't forgot that. I told him to make sure I got a picture or something.
March 7th, 1990, house show in San Francisco, a tribute to Ray Stevens and Pat Patterson. Did you ever get a chance to work with Ray? Yep. Did you ever get a chance to work with Ray Stevens in AWA towards the end of his career?
No, I never
Is
did.
that two, Jackie?
That was two.
Two, thank you.
No, that has to be three, because the last one was two.
All right.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
All right.
We're all forgetting. No, I didn't work with him, but he liked me.
Was he an agent?
Where was it? It was at WWF. Yeah.
Yeah.
He did. What did he do with it? It seemed like he swung through a short time at AWA. Did you remember that?
Yeah, I do remember him wrestling at some point in AWA as a very, very little kid, which would have been '86.
That'd be about right. Yeah. Well, I never worked with him or against, in the ring with him. But he took a liking to me, and I liked him too, and so he was very, very smart with the psychology, which is the most important thing. He would give me little tips here and there that I appreciated a lot. And he was a fun guy too. He had
He would have fit in with the Rockers if you guys were around
time.
in the '60s.
There's one of my favorite stories that I can't tell.
Yeah.
Was when him and Pat were a tag team. And evidently they tore it up on the West Coast.
Yeah.
I mean, gosh, even Eddie Mansfield bragged about them, and he's pretty accurate when he does brag about somebody other than himself. I mean, he's pretty accurate with himself too. I mean, he was good. It was.
Sadly, there's almost no footage of the two of them together, and I've heard nothing. And from what I've seen of Stevens in singles matches when he was younger, he was fantastic. Patterson's bumps was just a fantastic bump taker. I mean, to think about those two guys working with you guys at your peak, if they were younger, just imagine.
They ought to do that computer now to take the
Put it on a
boxes.
video game or something, yeah.
Or the computer thing where they say who was better, like Muhammad Ali or Marciano. Remember they let the computer figure it?
Yeah.
They had done that with the Rockers, and that'd been cool. But Ray was.
You liked
the
Ray.
psychology, yeah. Well, both of them. Pat, that's why he was around for so long. Psychology-wise, man, and I love being around him because you're going to pick up a tidbit somewhere. If you're around them all day, there's no way you didn't leave smarter. And and good guys, both very good. You really can't find anybody talk about it. Well, you can with Pat, but that generally has to do when you're in a power position. You're going to get some negative feedback and blowback and crap.
No. Yeah.
But man, the two of them, they all the same size, kind of same structure. Just imagine. I'd love to see them there. I mean, I heard so much and never got to see once, And
Stevens must have been some kind of a specialist too, because again, such little footage exists. But I was told that Stevens and Bockwinkel were just as good when they were together as a tag team in the AWA,
right?
managed by Bobby Heenan. Yeah.
Well, so that would have been Stevens was the MJ of the team, because anybody he tagged with was springboard to the top, as Billy Gunn told
Do you
me.
think Ray would have got down on his hands and knees in his underwear and crawled through dog shit like Nick Bockwinkel did?
You remember that, huh?
That's one of my. That was one of those nights. I went home when I was laying in bed trying to go to sleep. I was laying in bed laughing, thinking about that story that you told.
Visualizing it and see what.
Yes, because I knew Nick from the Cauliflower Alley Club. He lived out in Vegas towards the end of his life, and I just thought that story was hysterical. I used to drive Linda nuts when I was with her because I have these crazy laughing fits, and she'd be sleeping, and
You
2 or
wake her
3
up with
o'clock
it.
in the morning, I'm laying in bed laughing, and she slightly starts to wake up and would start to, and then I'd start laughing harder, and then she'd be awake, and then it'd get ugly from there. But So Ray Stevens, you thought added a lot behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Had to. I mean, because, like I said, just the little tidbits of wisdom he would give you. For me, for the wrestling, sometimes life in general, especially, and there's where what I was talking about on the episode before this, about being able to teach our kids some of the sand traps you're going to find with life on the road, because I've lived them myself and have finally pulled out of them. Some people don't. And, Ray was, a partier and had the good times. And he would see me doing something and he would, kind of let me know where it was going.
Would he try and warn you?
Well, he would tell me after fact. I mean, what I mean by after facts, like, he heard, something I might have done the night before, and then he would tell me the outcomes of continuously doing that. But he'd put some reasoning behind it, and I'd be like, okay, that's no more of that, because sometimes, you don't know. Mm-hmm. And when this person that does know tells you, and knows what he's talking about because he's been through it, it has more effect than if a person that, like we were saying again, that has never been through it's telling you. They know.
Do you remember why he left as an agent?
What's that, him?
Do you remember why he left?
No.
No. Were you disappointed that he left as an agent?
I think I was gone. Well, I know I left one time.
This is a surprise.
Is
the sky blue?
He was still there. I don't know when he left.
Oh, he departed during one of your
No, I did.
gaps?
I did. I actually yelled at him before.
You yelled at Ray?
Yeah, a little, not bad.
What did you yell at Ray for?
But I thought he was had stooged out something that wasn't even true.
Oh.
And when I went and said something to him about it, in front of, he was in charge of the tapings, like promo tapings and stuff at that time. I just walked in the room. I didn't even know who all was in there. I just found him and said, "You're a sorry son of a bitch. Go tell Vince this or tell whoever the hell you told him." Yada yada yada. And he just jumped up and threw his fist down. And he goes, "You were wrong." And I was like, waved him off and left the room. And come to find out, I was wrong. It wasn't Ray that did it. It was a good friend of mine that went and lied his ass off. That used to be a tag team partner of mine. Someone
that stomps the foot a little bit?
What's that?
Someone that stomps the foot?
Right before they play a song for you. Sweet chin music.
Wrestling fans, unbelievable. Another episode of Wrestling Insiders has come. Another. You found your phone? It's so good. So it was a good episode. Again, folks, we can't employ you enough. Please give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Let YouTube know you love what we're doing so they'll showcase our videos to the millions and millions of great wrestling fans, lapsed and current, that have no idea we exist. Along with, of course, you could always help us out with the Super Chat button. Don't forget to tip the bartender for this entertainment you will find nowhere else. Entertainment, insanity, however you want to classify it.
How's that work? You tap the button and
you tap the button and you can put whatever you want in.
Oh,
put $1 in, $2, whatever you want.
Is a good direct charge or?
What's that now?
So it charges directly to their account. I'm lost.
I've never done it. I really don't know. I think it charges a credit card.
That's what I was going to say, because they're signed up, I guess.
I think so, yeah.
Well, because I get.
You know what? If you've ever done it, can you explain to Marty and I how Super Chat works?
Yeah, because I want to get on it.
Our good friend Slick Rick B explained it to me to use it, but I have no idea what the process is. Maybe Howard, in his missing teeth, can explain it. In addition to that, the eBay store is open 24/7. Link in the description box below. And of course, the world-famous Patreon streaming service. Get early ad-free access to all these Wrestling Insiders. New Jack, the final interview series, plus our Studio Shoot interview DVD library is seen by millions online and millions on the Howard Stern Show. Some Patreon exclusive videos and help keep wrestling legends working. Patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. Link in the description box below. We'll see you tomorrow night after SmackDown with John Cena Sr. for Fabulous Fridays. This fine gentleman will be back. Same bat time, same bat station.
And I'll have a new ankle.
Next Thursday night. Forget about Impact. Forget about Dark Side of the Ring. It's Party with Marty. Good night.
Thank you for joining us. Please give the video a big thumbs up, leave us a comment, and subscribe to the channel to enjoy more great content. Don't forget, you can help keep wrestling legends working. Check out our eBay store and join the Boston Wrestling family at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling so we can produce more in-depth shoot interviews.